Hello everyone and welcome back. With technical issues, this video is going to be a lot shorter. I was running into some problems, so unfortunately we do miss out on a couple of games that I actually did record, but either the mic was muted or the recording wasn't happening quite the way we needed it to, so we had to do a restart and then go in. It was going to be shorter. I'm on my busier week as well going into Friday, but basically we're running the list back like we said we were going to. We are on a budget account, so we do have to kind of play towards that. We only have 6 commons, 3 uncommons, 7 rares, 5 mythics, so even if we really wanted to build out into something else, it's obviously pretty difficult to do so. But we're trying to do it with this for now. We did craft 4 of these Origins of the Spider-Man, which is a card that I talked about in the last episode that I thought we definitely needed to craft. But with that said, let's go ahead and dive into the games. Okay, so loading into game 2 of today, I was recording, my mic was muted, I stopped the recording, turned my mic back on, and then missed the recording button, so I captured none of the game. And it was a pretty sweet game. It was a mirror, so it was a bit interesting. Dinos. Okay, well, fantastic creature to rip here. All the pressure in the world. I could have got this going, but a ward creature in a deck that might fight / burn, I do want to keep protected. We're going to play a 3 mana 6/6. Remember, this creature cannot pay for things, so if they were burst lightning, they cannot use this. 3 mana 6/6. Look at that. Really have to sneeze. I'm not gonna lie to you. Take this. Then we go to combat. Hit for 3. We're really just racing here. We do need to find an ethereal armor. That would be best case scenario, because then we can grow our creature rapidly instead of slowly. But next turn I can turn this on as long as there's nothing too threatening that's happening. I have ward 4, which they cannot pay for. This again is not a Landwar elf, so it cannot be used. I do think over this you would play Landwar elves still anyway. They cannot pay for this, so if they pay for 1 ward, they have to pay it twice. Yeah. Little bit of a mistake here. I think my opponent's starting to realize that they're not going to be able to pay this cost. You can still target though. It just will counter the ability. May pay 2 and do Darting Sword deals damage equal to its power to another target creature. Yep. And then they're not gonna be able to pay this, so it'll just fizzle the spell. So it's not like they really lost out. They do lose out in the fact that they obviously now don't have 2 less mana for the turn. So they do lose out a bit. And because that's kind of where they're at, I'm going to hold off on this. Just hold up my protection spell. Get 3 more damage in. Put a counter on it next turn. And then look to double strike it in the air for the win. If I draw 1 more land, I'll be pretty happy. Now they're in a weird spot because this was one of the legendary. And they would have loved to have this come and play and fight this. Will definitely put us on a weirder spot the turn prior. Dude, look at this big goofy boy. 3 mana 6/6s. Not good enough for current standard to gathering, at least at the higher level of play. Even mono green's one of the best decks. Like, that's the craziest part. Mono green's are really strong, and a 3 mana 6/6 is not strong enough to compete. Maybe it is, I don't know. Opponent in a tough spot. They're in the tank a little bit, but this is kind of the bronze experience sometimes, right? It's a little bit harder for people to know exactly what to do in any given spot because they're just way less experienced, right? So give them their time to breathe, give them their time to play, and we don't really do anything. They got time. They will time out though. I say they will time out if they do not hurry. Ward 2, that's going to be a lot. Could get hit with a random monster of a dino. My 2 here. 1 counter here. Go here. Back at it. Again, we're just setting up for the lethal next turn. Double strike here with 1 counter on it is going to get it done. I just really need to keep it alive. They're now at 6-7 mana. Third meme here. They do have a red. I still don't know what the red's for, to be honest. Other than this. Because it's very green heavy so far. Maybe they do have a 2 red in their hand. They just can't do it because their basics are off. But I respect them, dude. Playing dinos is awesome. I love dinos. I love dinos. Honestly, I think I want to... On my main, I just want to play something goofy like that. You will have to pay 4. And we'll make you pay everything first. Yep. And then they pay one more time. And then with that, we just give it protection. And then we'll have lethal next turn here. For 12 in the air. Unless they randomly play a Birds of Paradise. Which then we shelter by ghost. So there's nothing. Or the Run Afoul. Is that the card that's 1 green mana? Back a flyer. Pretty sick. You pretty sick. Block. I'll give him the satisfaction of at least getting a block in. Dinos has to at least eliminate 1 creature a year. Or the Dino deck is just upset. 6, and then one more time for the big strike of -2. So we got it. With that, we move on. We have our best card for a deck. On a red, it could be a bit tough. They attack. They hit me for 1. I think for mana efficiency, we're just going to go ahead and take that from them. We'll see what happens. I want to just jam this, but if I draw 1 more land, I might just have to wait. Okay. Oh, man. Is it worth jamming? I'm so screwed if it dies. But if it's a lightning strike, they can't do anything. So we'll try. Most likely they have an answer. No, they don't. Alright, well that... Oh, and we drew the land, so we probably would have been better off to do that. Here's a funny thing we can do, actually. We can shelter by ghost to target their treasure. So they don't have extra mana for the turn, and go here and put ward 4 on our creature. And then potentially, if I know the math, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Can I just literally play 3 ethereal armors next turn and win? I'm pretty sure I can. Okay, my opponent just concedes. That's not how tablet works, unfortunately. But I want to do the math just real quick, and I'm pretty bad at math, so it's going to be a bit of a struggle bus. Let's play this. Our toughness is now 4. Our power is now 4. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So these will be +6 for each one. And our initial power is 4, so it's 10 to 16 to 24. I did that math right. So we immediately win the game and have triple first strike. Pretty sick, pretty sick. All right, we will go first. We will keep. Lost our last game to a massive misplay. And my mic was muted once again. I, since then, have restarted. And hopefully we're fine. The unit has hexproof. Let's go here. Bit aggressive, but I'm here for it. Play your unit. Chainsaw. If this is a deck that's a 1-of Chainsaw, I will actually tweak a little bit. Just because it feels so unfair. Apparently, bronze 1's where all the rares come out. Every single card's a rare. Okay, I lied. Sure. Okay. I had to actually like read the card a little bit. I might even just double seam rip here. Yeah, there's leyline axes, so pretty sweet so far. I don't play this guy whenever I play it. It's not necessarily something I personally built, but one big one. We don't need much to get through this. Ethereal armor is all you actually need in a situation like this. Another chainsaw? No way. Okay, at least they play more than one chainsaw. All right, well, let's start getting after it. And for a lot, and then committing here will put it to a lot more. That's fine. Attach any number of target equipment you control to target creature you control. Okay. Go here. And then we go here. Mascot flying. Big noodle bonk over the top. Double protection spell Bales is out, and that's always very good. I do think if our one drop would have lived that turn, we probably would have ended it a couple turns earlier. But as you can see, we're one went away. And again, I did lose one before this. My mic was muted again. We have since restarted, and we're ready to go. Checking 1, 2. My mic's on. All right, cool. We're good. You're good to go. Go here. Have it eat removal. Go here. They won't be able to remove it. Allegedly. Cool. Blue implies bounce spells. I do think blue is probably where I'm going to step into next. Just because we can actually build a decently good blue deck, I think. Shelter by Ghost will be very annoying. Honestly, it'll be annoying to try to get to resolve because I can always just hold up one blue bounce whenever I try to stick it onto the Skyward Spider. To be honest. Ooh. How about one big one? I kind of just want to do this, but I will jam here. Oh, well. Blue-black. Still not entirely sure where we're at. Outlaw Thunder Junction. Yo, that's actually kind of sweet looking. Trains are coming. The train has gone. Cool. All right. Well, that is definitely a big let's pick that up kind of thing here. Making their spells cost cheaper is pretty bad. Now we're on Ward 4 here, missing a land drop. This is always where hitting a lot of lands always sucks because then you see hands like this and you're like, wow, we're just so close all the time. Thankfully, if they hit one more land next turn, we do have the answer here. But we'll see. We would like to hit one more land. It would make a lot more of our stuff a little bit more viable here. I'll just tap this. Whenever another fairy control enters, deal whatever. That's only 2 mana. So let's go here. Seam Rip. That has flash too. They could have ambushed this. So honestly, might not even attack with this guy. Might just not be worth it. Yeah. Wow. Okay. We go here and then we just pass. Can't really force this in. I could shelter again. Because now 1 mana would be enough to answer this. They do play. Oh, they have to draw though. Their deck's actually kind of sick. Fairies is a weird way to play on a blue like fairies so far. Because, you know, uncommon, commons. This is the best, dude. Seeing people make their decks work the best they can with the colors and stuff they've been given is always just so good. Maybe I'll draw a land. And they have 2 more mana up, so it's a situation where Spell Stutter could just be an absolute house here. Yeah, I'd like the top type unit. Okay. More shelters than lands, but that's fine. Again, they could flash in an answer to here, so let's just double attack. Low to the ground. I do want to try to get Ethereal Armor online. It's just going to take a while, I guess. But eventually we will draw a land. We had 6 and 11 cards. We now have 2 and 13 cards. I can't remember if that game was the one that I end up like missing, but we had 6 and 11, and then now we are on 2 and 13, which is the nature of the game. We do play 20. We feel like this situation is going to happen quite often in comparison. They do have enough mana to answer this. At target, put 3 stuns on it. Scry, sure. They keep. Interesting. What is their play here? Didn't have enough lands to do that to this. Because again, Ward 4. So it seems like they might know that. Will they make... No. Okay. They didn't make the mistake. But they did tap out, however. So I can... Oh, we hit a land? Oh, golly gee whiz. So now I just want to play this. Since they're a flying deck. Get everything online with that. And then just run here. Then just say, let's go. I don't actually care too much if this gets removed. Like, obviously, I'm going to care quite a bit just because of the value I'm going to lose. But overall, I don't necessarily care that much, especially if they answer it, because they're only going to get this back. And I do have another Shelter by Ghost to absorb that. Another land. They didn't play a land last turn, so that implies that they left a land on top, which maybe they didn't really need. Update. They might have needed it. I don't know. I'm going with 3 creatures here. Especially considering, you know, giving one double strike matters. We'll see if our opponent kind of taps out here or what they do. Interesting card. Return all creatures in hand for each opponent who controlled a creature. Return this way. You make 2 1/1 blue fairy creature tokens that can't block only. This token can block only creatures flying. Oh, well, there's that card. This is the card I was worried about earlier. -3 if they control a fairy, which they definitely do. I think they take wrong there, though. I think fairy fencing just answers some of my stuff. These can't block. I'm curious if they'll make a little bit of a mistake here. We'll see. Tap all out. They hold everything back. We'll give this double strike. We'll go here. Go here. You will remove this guy. Get you a little counter action. And then I could just tap one of these, but I would kind of want to save. Well, I don't even know if I could save it, right? Well, if they block, I guess it kind of does what I want, and that's fine with me. We're in. It's like a block and a block. I'm much happier with that because these are reduced. Did the turn take too long that they forgot about double strike? Oh no. Apparently if you just wait, they'll forget that you ever had double strike. As you can see the little symbol right here. If you're new to the game, Arena will put symbols down here and it will put dots if there are too many symbols for it to represent. You just hover it. I don't know how to do it on the phone. I'm pretty sure you just tap it. But if you right click, it'll tell you all the stuff on there if you need to know it. So yeah, we'll take that win and we'll now hit silver and see what's up. All right. Well, listen, I don't typically want to keep one landers, especially after the last game, but we believe, right? I believe in us. They mulligan. They're a more respectable player than us. That's for sure. Scavenger's the best unit. I'm going to just jam Elite. Honestly, I probably should have just jammed the Veteran. Because if a graveyard matters, I'd much rather have the Veteran in. Matter. Well, alright. My opponent's more respectable. But maybe me just playing 1-drops will get it done. I was kind of leveraging last game to this game. That's a really bad habit. Do not do that. I've also been just kind of keeping whatever 7 the world gives me. Why? Oh, yeah. Never mind. It's 1-1. Alright. That's pretty sick. Go here. attack. And now we're fully primed and ready to go. Burst Lightning could obviously answer this. This is a pretty cool card. Bounce spells are also pretty good against this. But once again, our opponent did maul. Well, now they can't bounce it. They could bounce this. Maybe that's their play. Okay. So, silver player playing a bit more of a competitive list that I'm aware of. I say a bit more. I'm fully throwing everything out. The kitchen sink is getting synced, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna put it here. Because this is already a target, and I might just be able to close out the game on something where they might answer this instead. If they blow up my whole board, then they got me. Kind of the perk of missing our land drop on turn. I also thought I was on the draw when I made that decision. This might just lose in the game, though. Not answering my scavenger is pretty brutal, in my opinion, but here. Not going to be able to bounce it, of course. Go here. I could flood maul, bounce my ethereal armor, I guess. The 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The shelter will actually win the game if I go for it. So I might as well just try. And now this also has ward 4 on it. I assume they have some answer. No? Listen, we should have never got rewarded for keeping out one lander, but sometimes, no, you can crawl out of the pits. It was more or less gambling on Arena to give it to me. Because of the missed lands last game, I figured I would hit a couple this game, you know. Arena's got a little bit of a track record, but that's a bad keep. Definitely should have mauled. Probably could have won that game going away a lot easier. But they should have used this 1 mana on this to hit this. I don't think I had a mana open, but I'm not really sure. If they answer this, I don't get to grow this and close out the game. And they probably would have ended up winning with 5 mana next turn. But we'll take that win and call it a day. Okay, so with that, we can talk about the deck and see maybe where we want to go in the future. But with that, this deck just proves to be solid. Obviously, we talk about it on the not other channel. It's still this channel, but when I'm playing on my other account, my main account, I've talked about this being the best bulk deck that you can be playing, and it is obviously showing that, at least on the lower tiers, which I definitely thought it would. This card is just so hard to deal with, and especially ward is a tricky mechanic, especially ward ×2, because you can definitely highlight this and see that it has ward and go, oh yeah, ward 2. But with the shelter by ghost attached to it, you can kind of get trapped with that being ward 4. But we did add this card, and I think it just goes to show the versatility that the deck gains by adding a card like this. One, making that threat, and then turning any creature into a lethal opportunity with a scavenger online or just an ethereal armor in general. Basically, either of these kind of do the same thing, where if you play an enchantment, this is going, ethereal armor will just grow, or if you play an enchantment, you just put 1 counters on it, and it all works out the way we need it to. But yeah, unfortunately with the errors, it ran a bit short. But some cards I really want to look into is I'll probably look into blue, because there's a couple of cards. The crab is something that comes to mind as a card that is good. See, as it is an uncommon. Opt and sleight of hand are all, you know, commons as well. So you can see opt, sleight of hand. I think that one's an uncommon, but I think the normal one is a common. Yes, it is. So you can see if we can get some commons and uncommons, we'll be running pretty well there. And then Tolarian Terror. Yeah, this guy right here. We actually have 3. I think it's in one of the budget decks. So something like this can be an opportunity for us to build. And if we so want, you can almost go back and then put in your Sunderflocks if you really want to go that route as well. The deck's really solid. We just get to play a lot of islands and just run it down that way. Because if you look at bounce off, it's going to be a common, or I think it's a common from that set. It's weird with the white because white typically means uncommon, but that has both black and white in it, so it's a bit weird. Bounce off and then into the Flood Maw, I think. Is it into? Yeah, you can see kind of the uncommon tag there. So obviously we get a lot of things. Flow state, stock up. I think we opened a stock up at least. Yeah, we got 2. So, you know, looking pretty good across the board overall to build something like that next, and maybe we can look into that next episode. So with that said, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.